So my husband is about to embark on a 6-day long road trip in a U-Haul, and so I am going to prepare him some freeze-dried MRE meals that he can take with him to ensure he doesn't starve. There are just a few things I need to grab from Walmart here. It's going to be a super easy recipe, yet so yummy. I'm making a type of beef stroganoff recipe. I already have the ground beef I'm going to be using. I need some onions. Frozen chopped onions are my favorite shortcut. Beef broth is another item I need. We need a can of cream of mushroom soup. We need egg noodles. I'm going to do these whiter ones. I also need 1 cup of sour cream, but I actually have some at home, so I'm not going to buy any here. I think everything else I need are just spices, which I already have at home. So I'll meet you in my kitchen and we will do some cooking. Well, somehow it's the next day, but we are going to get this beef stroganoff made. I can't believe I realized this is the last time I'm going to be using vanilla ice while here in Alaska, which is kind of sad. But we have made some decisions and our plans for vanilla ice, our freeze dryer, and what we're gonna do with it for this big move that we have coming up to Arizona in a couple of weeks. We've got some updates on our house, and so stay tuned for that. But for now, I've defrosted a pound of ground beef. I'm going to fry that up in my pan. This is probably more like 1.5 pounds, but we're just gonna use it because it needs to get used up. I've also started a pot of boiling water to get my egg noodles cooking. I'm going to ask Mr. Freeze Dry how he wants to be able to eat these meals, if he prefers them in mason jars or in MRE Mylar bags. I prefer eating meals like this out of a mason jar. It's just easier to eat out of like a cup, a vessel. You can see the food, you can see when it looks like it's fully rehydrated. However, carrying around the jars might be kind of annoying in their U-Haul. Might be easier to have him in Mylar bags. So I will let him choose how he wants it packaged up, and then we will go from there. I am going to season my ground beef just with salt and pepper. And I'm also going to get my onions in here to cook along with the ground beef. I'm going to add about half of this bag of onions, probably. Looks good. The recipe also calls for garlic, but I'm just going to use my garlic powder. I'm going to add this though a little later on when we're making our roux for the stroganoff. I still have a lot of garlic powder left. This is like my all-time favorite freeze-dried spice that I have ever made. It does make your freeze-dryer room very pungent of garlic smell when you freeze-dry it, but it is worth it. By far better than any grocery store garlic powder you could ever get. So this will definitely be making the move with us because I won't get through all of this in the next 2 weeks. A lot of people ask me if you can freeze dry fatty meats like ground beef, and the answer is yes. I do it all the time. It is one of my favorite freeze dried meats to have on hand. This ground beef that I'm using right here is a higher fat percentage, and so after it's all cooked, I am going to rinse and drain it just to get some of the excess fat off of there. Fat can shorten the shelf life of freeze-dried food, but as long as you get rid of as much as you can, it's fine. Beef is still cooking away over here. It's almost done, but I'm gonna get my noodles in. I don't know if I needed the entire package, but I'm just gonna cook them all. Here is how my ground beef and onions look. My strainer is in the dishwasher, so I'm just gonna try to get out as much grease I can and use a paper towel to blot up the extra. Some fat is going to be needed for the flour to make a roux, so I don't know, I'm not too worried about it, but we're gonna try. I will link this recipe down in my video description below, so in case you don't catch everything I'm doing, you can get it there. Because there's still some grease in this pan, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of butter. The recipe calls for 3, but I think we're okay with 1 plus the grease that's left over from the meat. And I'm gonna just sprinkle in 3 tablespoons of flour. Stir this together, and then we're gonna be adding beef broth as our liquid to help thicken up the sauce. We're gonna do 1.5 cups. And we'll let this come to a simmer. This sauce is looking really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic powder now. This is probably a teaspoon. That garlic smells so good. My strainer's in the dishwasher and I need to strain my noodles. That's okay, I'm just gonna use the lid and do what I can. I'm now gonna add in my cream of mushroom soup along with 1 cup of sour cream. And we're almost done. This is actually a very easy recipe. This is something I need to start making for my family because I think they all would really like it. I've never made this for my kids, but I feel like this was something I ate as a kid and really liked. Okay, I want to give it a little taste just for seasoning. Okay, that is so good. It doesn't need anything extra. I'm going to pour my sauce into my noodles. See how much we need. This turned out so good and it was so easy. I love easy MRE meals that come together fast but still taste so good. I'm gonna let this cool off a little bit and then we will get them loaded onto our trays. Here's how each of my trays look. I portioned them out into 2 separate sides so that I know when I'm packaging them up, 1/2 of the tray is 1 portion. I've got 8 meals, so that gives my husband and his nephew who is doing the drive with him 4 easy meals that they can eat if they don't have access to like a restaurant or somewhere to go for food. They have a yummy home-cooked meal from me, which I think is great. That's why I love having a freeze dryer. I'm gonna stick my tray lids on just so that I have an easy way to carry these down to vanilla ice. Let's go and I will show you. Here's my bubble again. This light always just looks like a bubble floating above me in the air. It's a light. Let's go down to vanilla ice and I'll show you the settings that I'm gonna use. So for my settings, I'm gonna go into custom, initial freeze -10, extra freeze time. I'm gonna add 2 hours because I did not pre-freeze. My dry temp is 120 degrees. Hit start. And then we'll just wait our 15 minutes for me to load these up. We have made a decision on what we are doing with my freeze dryer for this move. I was set on doing one thing for quite a while and then recently have changed my mind. I originally thought I was going to sell vanilla ice and just use the money towards a new machine down in Arizona. That way I don't have to worry about traveling with it. It's surviving the drive in the back of a U-Haul down the Alcan. But honestly, I have gotten so sick of selling things because we are trying to get rid of as much stuff as we possibly can before this move. Like all of our big furniture, well not all of it, but most of it, we are working on selling right now, just so that we have enough room in the U-Haul for our important things that we need. And I didn't want to have to deal with the drama of selling this. If you know FB Marketplace and how frustrating it can be dealing with people wanting to buy something, and I am just over it and don't want another big item to have to sell. So we are going to pack up vanilla ice and bring them with us to Arizona. I was getting sentimental about it. This is my first and only freeze dryer, but it has served me well for the last 4 years and I'm not ready to let it go. I thought it would be a fun experiment to see if vanilla ice actually can survive a huge move like this, which I think would be valuable information for my viewers to see. If you are going to be making a big investment into a freeze dryer, you want to know that if you are going to be moving, if it's something that you can bring along with you. So we're going to find out together how it goes. I will film the process of us trying to pack this. I have no idea how we're gonna do it yet. We have some ideas rolling around, but we eventually will figure that out, and I will bring you along for all of it. So I'm kind of excited. Vanilla Ice is gonna go on a fun adventure. We are ready to load up. I've got some exciting news to show you outside, so let me go show you what I'm talking about. Before I go get our food out of the freeze dryer, let me go show you the big news that we have. That is just the next step forward in our move, which is crazy that it's like happening so soon. Our house sold. And you can see there is 0 snow on the ground, which is amazing. The grass is starting to green up in some spots, but it's looking great. There's a little bit of snow left on the mountain here. Hopefully that'll be gone in a couple of weeks. I was on a hike last week for a field trip with one of my kids, and we had forgotten that mosquitoes are out. The heat brings mosquitoes, but that's okay. I would rather deal with the mosquitoes and the heat than be freezing cold. But hopefully it's gonna start to warm up even more around here and we can enjoy the last couple of weeks in Alaska while we have it. Sad that our time is coming to an end so soon. It's like crazy. Of course, we're excited for our new adventure and to be close to family again, but Alaska and just all the people here are so wonderful and amazing. It's sad to leave them. You know, there's always good with the bad, but we're all gonna be okay. Vanilla Ice ran for about 31 hours. The food is dry and ready to come out. So let's see how it's looking. Tray number 1. Tray number 2. Tray number 3. These are cold. Tray number 4. I'm gonna pack some meals in Mylar bags and just 2 in mason jars. I'm not sure what Nate is gonna prefer, bags or jars. He'll be able to pack the bags a lot easier than these. So that's why I'm gonna do more bags than jars. He has a nephew driving with him, so some of these meals are gonna be for him also. He doesn't have to eat this for 4 meals in a row. This is just like backup food if he can't get to a restaurant or something. So it's okay that it's all the same. He'll be fine. It tastes good. And I'm not gonna forget to label my bag before filling it. So I'm gonna start with the jars. I like to use a canning funnel to get the food inside of it. I'm hoping 1 serving will fit in this smaller size. And it's fine if you like have to break it down a little bit. It's not gonna change the taste of the food. It'll just be smaller noodles. Let's see how this goes. Okay, there we go. With a little bit of poking from a Sharpie that I did clean, I was able to poke all of the stroganoff down into my jar. And so now all I need to do is put the rest in these Mylar bags. I'm doing 1 meal per bag just so that it's easy for portion sizes. And you can eat right out of the bag too. So there's gonna be no problem if they're having to eat out of these bags. You just eat. It's just not as easy as eating out of a jar, but these you can fully eat out of. They have a nice gusseted bottom so they can stand up on their own without like falling over. These are really nice. I'll have them down in the description below if you need some. They're just from Amazon. So as I'm packaging these up, I've got a question for you. I'm trying to figure out how to find an easy way to get hot water while he is traveling on the road. Like if they have to camp on the side of the road at some point for whatever reason, for them to be able to heat up water to make these MRE meals. I'm thinking like a travel electric water kettle. Does that exist? Have you seen anything? Do you have any recommendations? I'm gonna check Amazon, but I'm looking for something that could plug into a car, like a cigarette lighter, because you know, these U-Hauls are old, I'm sure don't have proper USB ports. I have no idea. Or something that can just be pre-charged ahead of time. I don't know, if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments down below. That would be awesome if you got any ideas. Okay, and now oxygen absorbers. So then you just pull them close. If I can get the zip top zipped, I usually do that, but these bags are pretty full. So I'm just gonna try to flatten it and heat seal it the best that I can. Well, we did it. I have trained Mr. Freeze Dry well that you don't have to measure exactly how much water needs to go back into these MRE meals. I hate weighing my trays, doing all the math to figure out exactly how much water was taken out. All you have to do is add a small amount of hot water to the food until it looks like it's fully coated, stir it around, zip top the top closed, let it sit for 5 minutes or so. Open it up, check it. If it looks like it's still dry, or you can even take a little bite, see if there's any crunchy bits. And if there is, add a little bit more water. The key is going very slow because you can always add more water, but you can't really take it out, which extra water is not going to hurt it either. It'll just have a little water pooling at the bottom of your bag, but it's still edible and will still taste good. But it's easy. You just do that. Small bits of water, stir, let it sit. Small bits of water, stir, let it sit until you get the right consistency, and you can eat it and it's gonna taste fresh like it did when you cooked it. It's amazing and seriously so easy. I feel like it's even easier to do in the mason jars because you can actually see it and you can see the texture as it's like soaping up in the water. So I don't know, that's why I like the jars. You can just see what's happening to your food in real time and it's just really easy. So we've got 6 meals in bags for the boys on the trip, 2 meals in jars. I'm sorry I'm not going to be reconstituting this because they need this food on the road trip. So you'll just have to trust me that it turns out great. Maybe I can get some video of him when they're eating it and he can send it to me so I can show you guys to see if they actually like it, which they better. I don't think I told you yet. Harvest Right is doing Black Friday in May. They are doing big discounts, especially on size medium and size small units. So if you are ready for gardening season and want a way to preserve all of your fruits and vegetables that you grow, freeze drying is the way to do it. Check my link in the video description below so you can check out the deals that are going on right now. I can't believe this was my last run in vanilla ice for a little while. It's kind of sad, but that's okay. On to new things, new adventures, which we are super excited for. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet and you want to follow along on the Freeze Dry Society's next chapter down in Arizona. And if you want to see if this guy right here makes it down the Alcan. Thanks so much for being here. Remember, when you freeze dry today, you secure your tomorrow. Bye, friends.